Inside Story Uganda. Real source of politics.
And two. Nabalabye ngo wayusisi bamunyiga. Waliwo ebiragiro gye byavudde okunnyonnyola ani yajja ku programu ezo. Nalabye wayusisi mu anti mbali kodinga. Ate gwe nkuwanako. Mbalaba. Mbalaba. Kati emu bagizizaako. Ani nabaweereza message. Ze mujjeeko sijja kuddayo nange ndi UCC.
Wabitadde Wambalala.
Nabaweereza message. Nga maze obalaba bafigitinga. Era nanjeniemu gye bajjako yazze n'agamba nze tebanzijangako tebampanga ku bbaluwa n'enseka kubanga NBS ng'anyo gigendako bakulyetinzeewo endala omulimu wanga kye banoonya popularity yange.
Muwanga wa mukyawa.
Kasi okolagana n'abanwanyisa.
Muwanga wa mukyawa.
Kati nange naze najjeeko ate. So manyi nti when you see people over Migereko $5 million eza Migereko musenero. Is it how you handle government money? Kwegamba bwe yatwala $5 million naziseka mu vani ye nazituse waka.
Nsomewa leero.
Okutegedde.
Nkutegeera bulungi.
Yes, all of these things are explainable because obuuza ekintu kimu. What does the person wants to achieve? Every decision is purposeful. Bawandise mawulire gabwaga monitor. Ne bakulaga abamajja abafunye ebizibu bu officers olukola statements nga bajustifying ekyamukozi but they were stupid. Why? Analyze the statement somebody made and the circumstances. Muhozi mwamukkiriza n'ayingira mu diplomatic circles n'abasolovingira impasse ya Rwanda ne Uganda. She sees it to be fe mu Baganda Nalongo akola emikolo gy'abasajja abayafuuka dda musajja is between kakati omuntu amaze okukolera diplomatic work abakyakolifyinga bw'oba omujaji nga n'abaserikale abalala
akoze kyali mabalala bonna
anti ayingidde mu foreign affairs. Why didn't you raise it? Is this man a diplomat?
Nava wano n'agenda Misiri n'ameetinga Sisi. Nava wano n'agenda Gindi
n'asinkana. Uyu mubakazi Nalongo akoledde era Nalongo ne bw'oba tosanga bakazi. Waliwo abantu abali particular nga tosanga mukazi ng'otambula oddayo eka oba omusajja oddayo eka. Nalongo talina side.
Ogenda bugenzi.
Kati ono kati tegule ekyo takimanyi ate tegule tebagenda musasula kuba diru ya yisi. Temugenda kuddayo kalwaba kasumba.
Tegule ani amusasula tegule etwala omusango public interest. Public interest litigation tegule amusasula.
Timaze okulwanyisa mukozi ameze. Iginowa tukita contempt card. Iginowa. Leke Besige mu nsi yonna mu byofuzi tukola ebintu ebi. The moment an enemy goes into exile, you are in trouble. The moment you put a politician in the prison, you are in trouble. You are grooming him. Why? Ate Museveni atta abantu. Bachimanyi Museveni does not believe in political assassinations. Museveni gives you a political rope and you hang yourself. He refers you to the relevant institution. Oboli wamaje koti maaso. Oboli civilian reserve. Nga yesirikira omulabayo. Kakati besi yagenda kufiirayo.
Nedda
yakanya what if besi dies in prison? Tabaleta crisis.
Yaganye naganti nze temusondera sente ondeke mbereyo
n'agaberangayo
asa tunga
ataberangayo
yali abaddeyo
yatyayo ki if you look what the list of politicians, prominent politicians in Uganda, they make a who is a who in former Ruzira students. How many people have had a seat in Ruzira? Moses had a seat in Ruzira. Mukula had a seat in Ruzira. Mugweza had a seat in Ruzira. Kawayo had a seat in Ruzira. Bukenya had a seat in Ruzira. Muhanga Chivumbi had a seat in Ruzira. To mention them. Ruzira is a university and you are not treated badly. Abasaja be Ruzira bachitegeera. Nti the people kakati singawo bunyabunya Muhanga Chivumbi atula kachikoka Ministry Internal Affairs.
Omusaba budget tajitawanya.
Yes. So the Ruzira people don't deal with these people. You are there. Baina n'obusenge bwabwe. Ate onakulya Ruzira wa PhD doctor.
Economy.
Yes.
Mugezi mwiti abimanyi.
Yamanyi nti is
one of the best in Africa.
Yes.
Bamwebuzaako in prison za Africa singa
bali bamulemesa contract ejeri ne we. Kaye help timu atachimanyi.
Na bamwongera emyaka 3. yumu kubasinga mu Africa by the oyo byabashaija gola
atenge bweru bamwagala ono wemulage bweru bamwagala kuwane lili yawandika akatabo n'agamba nti Uganda, Kenya ne Singapore zali ku level mwati independence, but as I was looking for educated people in Uganda and Kenya, they were killing them.
Era government yasoko kolaga ndi yali upgraded severely except one.
He used to go to Harvard to refresh his ideas.
Wano tutubasa mchitiwa naye abayivu bafenga Tamale
ebyo akakali kankubuli oyo wembalala namugamba sibwe nakuwa publicity bajja kugobawo kubambalala yesomesa abasawo
University of Science and
Technology yakirabye namuteekamu n'obuuma n'alaba kati musanyufu nnyo
mama
yabadde alimidde yembalala
mama
leka sanawulidde nti akani kidnap
Land forces kuwa majaga kuuma mama
bagamba nabali twamusoma kulingayo nendaba n'omusajja gwe nabagambe yakwata akatayimbwa ejjinja Nasani Kalema
akatayimbwa akaki
anti bali bakuba obutayimbwa nga bana ab'ebijambi Nasani Kalema yali deputy DC ejjinja neyefuula atamidde neyeyiira omwenge n'agenda ng'atala nga matongo jinja beggalidde dda ngaba ebijambi yakwata omusajja wakajambiya nga wamaje namutwala ewuwe namupikako empyumu namuteeka mu Land Rover but Wanleke Museveni Milton was accessible. Hotel is to Kero paper. Your Excellency, we don't have money. Ngava majebe baredi nga jinje echiro. This man was taken to Luwero as for this promoted.
Obete yamubuza nti who tells you to kill people? Kwa ina mgani tunonya senti?
Tunonya senti.
By killing people?
It is innocent. Amajete ka innocent. Gigabbe jinja. Obete na mtu wali Luwero. When the rebels captured Luwero, they captured him. He cited me with the rebels taking photos. Nengomone mpande kamawulire nti this way Luwero abayekera bamukutte. He nawona. Ne waliwo brigadier yasongola olumuli n'amufumita mu lubuto. Yangamba Kalema nti emandi wano ng'omukadde azze. Yakola eddwaliro ly'amaanyi. Ne mujjanjaba n'awona. Naganga nkulise ne mutabani wange akulabeko. The man yali amutidde mukasi.
Ya movement olumuli. Gwe yaleeta.
The man fainted. Namugamba oye ekimusudde okimanyi mutabani wo. Yanyamba nnyo mu nsiko. Yakubamu mangu ekiraka.
So tiyamuvunaana tiyamukonde
Kalema code aina nursing school for export bagenda London. Asomesera ne balaga London. They needed. Ne yayita abana bonna n'abasomesa bena baki. Nabaga nti you see all of the work which is here is attributed to this man. Nakola check. Kalbe yakola check. Omuwala yagenda okulaba nga ataddeko figa nene nnyo. Tejimulese egisigning. Amubuuze, is it no or not no? To tell you how this man was appreciated what I did to him. Abalamba kolera badduka buddusi. Bakomawo babakubi. Baba malobakuba ne bakomawo. Musoka kusasuza siri. Never accept humiliation. I've stood up against humiliation for 10 years and I've defeated them. Gomanyi, lwaki Jesus yakomawo na biwundu. If Jesus yakomawo na biwundu
ngazukidde.
Bali muzeemu. Bali ganti yafudde bamukubye bubi. Naye bwe yakomawo ne scars. Ne bategeera nti mukabuli temubadde dokita baamutya. Tebamuddamu. Abakudda na biwundu tumanyi nti gaali nti abamukubye babajjewo nakugamba nti Nicholas Russia yali ahanginga omusajja yali amutawanya nnyo. Namugamba nti bagende bamuwane kati nga tradition ya Russia egamba nti kasitawona muguwa bakatonda ba Russia bakusonyiye.
Tukwatwako obogezi.
Kakati abali bahanginga bamusibye omugwa munafu. Mu kifo ky'okudduka yadda mu ttambiro. Nicholas asaana aveeko ti n'omugwa ogukolebwa mu Russia tegukyasobola kutuga muntu. Kakati Nicholas abawandika ekiwandiiko ekimusonyiwa akasajja nekajanga kadduka ka Mirundi ke sebo to signinga musajja ali wali yewana insinense tiyosani yaddala oveko kuba n'omugugu tuga abantu Nicholas yagante mujje waba tugumbuze mumusibye esatu emipya ate yavaawo anti ubeba Yesu yamugwa mumusibyeji
tulabe bajinaga
tulabe akatonda ko babe bamusonyiwe baddemu bamusonyiwe
tevaawo
ate yavaawo tevaawo
ebibi netubirelatinga tya ku situation mwe tuli Tamale ne we tuli
abantu bagiyigiremu
tuli mwaka gumu tubuza emyaka ina
when Rejema survived the serious assassination attempt nga Habyarimana mutaddeko millions of dollars the Banyarwanda went to northern Uganda to know who is who. Mirundi refugee government to know who is who. That's my survival. Sergeant Iddo yagende wa Prince Johnson ngalo was antibegate bakubetteira yamutira yobubi. I cannot attend the meeting. These recordings you disown in public will become part of my life. I will never surrender them. Machine temulizikwatako. And for 10 years I've now duplicated many. No condition, no situation will force me.
Waliwo mwana gwebisikiza bw'oliva mu nsi.
Pastor mulwana ne pastor mulwanira ploti. Pastor naganti tuteese nesoko yeki swaitani wo shiriki. Ananga shiriki yebadde kubisa pastor asoka kuwa mulimo mu church. Oyo kye shiriki.
Toyoche shiriki wonga.
Ate shiriki yabadde akukolera age. They fear me because of the machines.
Advantage eri ku shiriki. Ate kati omusumba ganti soko oche shiriki olyokojje.
Mala bagamba biri wa mukozi. Ne babinonya ne bibabula. Ne bagamba biri mu barracks. Ne babinonya ne bibabula. Ne bagamba nti Museveni yabiyina. Bayagala okuba awanze. Ne bakizula nti nedda. Tulabye siddi nyingi.
Nze nali nkujja
omuntu omu yabagamba. Ndabye Museveni nga transferring CD mpitirivu
ku computer
ku system empya ekitegeeza ono yawo ono bayina system kwe bakolera ne banoonya bannakyobe ne babagoba baani bonna abaseeta house babakebera amasimu
nze nali nkujjanja bano wali omulwadde gondi najjo okukyalira tumukunde ne mulabanga yetegereza atunula buli wantu bonna yali anoonya byuma
mukunde yali mulala ebyuma biri mu kyaki Chachi waliwe yajimenya najiyingiramu nasanga timba amwezinzeemu
chachi eri mutimba chachi eri mutimba
nomula naddayo
chachi eri mutimba
kana n'empologoma chachi ne bagivaako
si chachi
ne bagivaako
si chachi
oyita yabalokole
si chachi chachi
era ekutiya yaffe mweri ekutiya yaffe ya Kiganda mweri
eyamwe Kiganda
ati yaba mweya n'omukozi wa sente akutula ddiru twali bakiganda nga ajambala
yakutula ddiru
kwolu yafune milioni 10 kwa akaunti ku simu ye 10 yayambale kutia tulabe motoka za taxi zikonti ya jabamu mulalu yakutula datola bagande baganti ntingo mulalu
Bishop Kiganda yayambale kutia nga yakukungu baga
yafe era sebo tegulwa sente entono ya bukadobo tugenda nusalasale kutia yo yafe
Bishop Kiganda ngati nalindoza bya
ndoza ne wafa chikayo mu kanisa ziri yakola sente kwolo mubuzi Bishop Kiganda yakola milioni 10 yayambale kutia
wabimanya otya
mu mubuzi soma katabo kafe tugende
tugenzeko ngenda kusoma wa
egonda
wampadde kuziza
nakugamba nti Museveni nti empologome n'amalako nakugamba nti wali wagudde olutalo ku Masai Warrior yakati nkugamba musomawa nkugamba nti guno omutwe togusoma omutwe guleke soma kuva wano
okay omtuka nguleke page 78 ndi mu kitabo kino ekyawandiikibwa kibaito The Lion and the Masai Warrior the casualties of the succession battle kuno nengerako Besigye Bidandi ndabako bali baseka Kenya ne newcomer Kyagulanyi Center page 78 egamba bweti in my book Who Keeps Museveni in Power I enumerated Museveni's attributes and how he defeats his enemies. Museveni is a myth. He is not even understood by many, and nobody can even know his future plans. Museveni takes his enemies from afar, but takes a long time to act. He lures snakes out of their holes. For example, he watched Amama Mbabazi's activities for a long time until the fall of the hammer. I always ask people for Museveni to strike from Museveni to strike a deal with Garuga, Mbabazi's rival, and dropping of Mbabazi, what came first? Museveni directed officials of NADS to inject billions of money into the Garuga tea business even before dealing with Mbabazi. Museveni also promoted Henry Tumukunde to Lieutenant General. Then it was an energized Tumukunde who fought Museveni.
Who fought Mbabazi?
Sorry, who fought Mbabazi? I beg your pardon. Museveni also did not listen to complaints about General Kaihura until the hammer fell. He sacked his younger brother General Salim Saleh from the position of Army Commander and from the office of the State Minister for Finance. Museveni surrendered his in-laws Alice Kaboyo when found harm and caught up with the Gavi Fund scandal. Kaboyo was seen carrying a harm mattress to Luzira prison. He, Museveni, openly and on live television disagreed with his wife on the reopening of schools during the COVID pandemic. The question is, why would they disagree in public? A story is told of the close relatives who stole his cows, and Museveni reportedly surrendered the man to law enforcement officers for prosecution. It is rumored that Museveni's father, the late Mzee Amos Kaguta, saved the man by staging a hunger strike. In 1986, the most powerful woman in NRM, the most powerful women in the NRM then were Madam Gertrude Njuba and Hajat Janat Mkwaya. When the escorts of the late Oliver Zizinga killed a suspect, Museveni surrendered her to face the law. Zizinga was only released by court when she had lost 9 children in the war. Museveni sacked General Eli Tumwine, a member of the 27 pioneers of the Luwero Bush War. General Tumwine is one of the Bush War heroes with a permanent reminder of the Kabamba attack where he lost his eye. Those who were in the bush know the role that Chobe played during the initial stages of the struggle. Even when Museveni was leaving for Libya to meet Muammar Gaddafi in 1983, he spent the night at Chobe's house. However, when Chobe found himself on the wrong side of the law, he was arrested and surrendered to the law. Haji Serunjoji, who was recently arrested and on the orders of the state minister Sam Mayanja, contributed enormously to the NRM struggle. One of his wives was grabbed by a soldier during the Bush War days, only to be reunited with Serunjoji after the war. In spite of all this, Serunjoji was put behind the bars. During the Gavi Fund scandals, Professor Gilbert Baliba Sekabo Kenya, the former vice president of Uganda, who used to call himself Mahogany, was also put in prison and he had to face the law. Sam Kutesa, whose daughter is married to Museveni's son, and the two married from the same family, also suffered the same fate. He was dragged to the dock and humbled to the bone marrow. The only thing that he got was seeing Museveni's family members present in court. Major General Jim Muhwezi, whose wife played the role of a singer to the handover ceremony of Museveni's daughter, also found herself in Luzira prison during the Gavi scandal. During the Gavi scandal. What about General Moses Ali? He arrived in Uganda from exile aboard a cargo plane with Land Rovers and bodyguards. Upon meeting Museveni, he said, "You kill the people and I killed people, therefore no apologies." Moses Ali was demanding for the vice presidency according to the Tripoli Accord of 1983. He used it to attack Museveni during the NRC days until he was arrested, charged with treason and imprisoned for more than 2 years. Whatever he has today has been achieved on Museveni's terms. What about Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Lutaya? Kati is a Lieutenant General. Andrew Lutaya, who single-handedly paddled the canoe and ferried Museveni across Lake Victoria from Kajansi to Kisumu on his way to Libya in 1983. What about General Pecos Kutesa, who was Museveni's trusted ADC? He accompanied Museveni to Libya in 1983. However, when he failed to capture the parliamentary building during the final stages of the war, Museveni replaced him and he died after drinking spree for idleness and then taken toll on him. The list is endless. Therefore, this takes me to my final submission. Will the Maasai warrior defeat the lion? Tujja kutandikirawo. Ngugese banji. Akatabo kawomye okusoma wano.
Analyze Museveni.
Akatabo kawomye okusoma. Abasajja bonna buli omu yali amukutteko waaki. Museveni tatya kujayo yellow card mu muzanyo
baze mulumba
bana batumwine basale bakuteesa bamuwezi basibe bono bugende
obufuzi batugamba an institution, a state and an individual we fight for self-survival, self-preservation. When you are moving in a canoe with a stubborn boy or child over the owner of the canoe and they start raking the canoe, drop him into this to the water.
Omwana wa nanyini lyato. Omwana wa nanyini lyato.
Self-preservation.
Omwana wa nanyini lyato mumusula busuzi mu nyanja.
Any institution survives for self-preservation. Do you know why the Americans have allowed Putin to capture that territory from Ukraine? They knew a humiliated Putin would not hesitate to use nuclear weapons.
Aba injured.
Yes.
Asobola okola ekintu kyonna.
But they have compensated themselves. When Biden was asked in Japan, what would America do if China invades Taiwan? He said, we shall react militarily. And he said, that man Putin cannot be allowed to live longer. Biden is not a diplomat. He assured these people at the chagging of the Chinese. They are in negotiations. China is threatening Japan and the neighboring countries. The allies of America. North Korea is threatening South Korea. Biden had to come out.
See diplomat.
No.
We shall respond.
The moment China attacks Taiwan, we shall react militarily. Respond militarily.
See diplomacy.
And what was the purpose of going there? The way the Russians have been humiliated in Ukraine forced Sweden and Finland to join in NATO.
To ve compound.
Yes.
So bwe mazo kulaba list eno yonna.
Bwobato ina
Geno ali na
Masai Warrior yamuhambulinze.
Semanyiro akuba.
Masai Warrior yamuhambulinze.
Semanyiro.
A document, an apology document. Bagituteyo. Ate nabaga nti mulimu ebitateredde ne bagiddamu.
Are you sure?
The final document was made a day before yesterday. Final one. Museveni. Kati gwe mwambale. Agwa mabaga mbuze muwana. Gwe mwambale.
Museveni.
Gwe yingira chachi yange. Omuli empologoma omuli timba. Giyingiremu. Ani akuganye. I will never silence those machines. I will never miamu imachuwa man.
President Museveni.
Mayinti recording reasons zibaluma.
President
one day they can land into a Kosero government. They are young. But rest assured.
President Museveni. President Museveni mukwano go. Bwakuganti ebyuma bimuwe obimuwa.
Misinde.
Oduka budusi.
Gate. Ogechoka those sophisticated machines. Nga neiso tezina. The military intelligence. Can they operate in the country without the knowledge of the president?
Why kusema
nti birete
obitwala misana
ku gate ya State House
tuve ko